Oh, Super Tech Day is always the best, man. Getting everybody ready for the season.
What are your thoughts on this Super Tech event at Max Speed Cycles here in Kernersville?
It's starting to roll. We're getting it.
What up, Basin? How you doing? What are your thoughts on Max Speed Cycles Super Tech Day in Kernersville, North Carolina?
Just started, man. What the hell are you doing?
Tell me about your thoughts on Max Speed Super Tech Cycles North Carolina Max Speed today, huh? How you doing?
It's gonna be on Instagram like that.
What the man? Man, we have the filthiest group possible.
Every single one of us.
I was wondering how long it would take.
The cops have arrived. Scatter.
And some sodas and whatnot.
Oh, such a beautiful family. Next.
I don't work here.
Could you tell me about trail braking?
Wow. No. Love you, but no.
How's it going?
Really good, man.
Chance getting prepped for the season. Woo!
Bro. You got something for Taylor Wells?
I'm gonna pass him all year long.
That's what I'm talking about.
We go ahead and get started. I want to thank everybody for coming out today with PRE and Max Speed Cycles. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about getting your bike prepped, what you need to do, and how easy it really is to get your bike ready to go.
My job here today is just to kind of run through a day. Anybody that hasn't done a track day before, there's a lot of intimidation associated with that. We want to ease your mind with it. At 7 a.m. we start our registration and tech process. And so we're going to cover on this bike some of the things that we look for in the tech portion of it so that we can get a motorcycle on the racetrack, right? So we can't just put anybody's bike out there. You got
Any kind of lights and mirrors, they want those taped off. Sometimes some bikes it's easier to remove the mirrors altogether. Some of them you can fold them in, that kind of thing, but usually they're not too bad to take them off. But headlights and tail lights need to be taped off. The other thing that they look for is making sure that the brake light function doesn't shine through that tape job. So sometimes some bikes you can just remove the fuse, some of them you just unplug the wires to the lights. That kind of thing. You just don't want any light function, and if the lights are on, it'll burn that tape on there too, and that gets a pain to clean that off. Make sure that the brake pads are in good shape, the tires got good life on them, and they're relatively new.
We don't require the license plate to come off. You could ride your motorcycle to the track and ride it home. It wouldn't hurt anything. What we do like to have at the racetrack as far as license plates is if that thing comes off, it's a piece of metal that's sharp, right? So we like to have some type of tape or something like that just to reassure that it does stay on the motorcycle, right?
Right. Still have passenger pegs and things like that. A simple zip tie, tying these things up so they don't fold down, stuff like that. And then it's just overall care of the motorcycle, making sure the chain and sprockets are in good shape, the fork seals aren't leaking, things like that. Things that they look for also in tech is that the throttle snaps back and returns, the brake levers, the steering head bearings are tight, things like that. They'll grab the front and bounce it and just kind of check everything out. You can have the kickstand on it, like I said. You can still have things on it as far as turn signals and mirrors and things like that. A lot of that just got to be taped off. So not too bad. I have a SD650 and I still ride mine on the street. So my actual track prep takes me, since I've done it a few times, it's really only about 15 minutes and it's ready. The bike has to have numbers on it so that way corner workers and other people can identify if something goes wrong, they can radio on, instead of going by the bike colors and stuff like that. Numbers are a lot easier for them for identification purposes. So masking tape numbers work fine.
And one other thing to remember too is if you're unsure, maybe you don't work on your own bike or whatever, and that's cool too. But if you're unsure of, hey, is my bike going to pass? Are these tires good enough? Should I run this? What should I do? Max Speed Cycles is a phone call away. You can swing by the shop. We'll check your stuff out. It's free to have us just look at it to make sure you're going to pass tech when you go to the track.
Once the tech inspection gets wrapped up, which is about 8 o'clock, we have a general riders meeting, which invites everybody that is going to turn a wheel on the racetrack that day too. So we all assemble as a group, we go over the riding rules, things of that nature, and I can cover some of that now. You know, there's different levels on the track. We have a novice group, we have an intermediate group, and we have an advanced group. And what we do is 20-minute rotations throughout the whole day. So we start out with an advanced group at 8:30. 20 minutes after that, we have our intermediate group go out, which is a little slower riders than the advanced group. And then after 20 minutes after that, we have our novice group go out, which is kind of an entry track level group that is just getting their feet wet on the track day scene, okay? So we do that all day long. We try to have 8 rotations for each group so that everybody gets a lot of track time. Now, 8 rotations of 20 minutes does not sound like a whole lot, standing here talking. But anybody that's ever done a track day before knows that 20 minutes 8 times in the course of the day is a lot. That's a lot of riding time. And so you'd be exhausted at the end of the day. We typically have a lunch hour between 12 and 1 o'clock, depending on which track and which day we're at. At the novice group, I'm the lead instructor for that group as well. We have a lot of experience to get everybody acclimated to the racetrack. And so we take it personal if somebody's not having a good time. We want you to have a good time out there. So, you know, anybody that hasn't ridden on the racetrack with us before, I see a lot of familiar faces, but obviously you guys this is something you're very interested in. And we invite you, even if you don't sign up for a track day, to come check us out. We're going to be at Virginia International Raceway here in a few weeks. I think the 31st, is that correct? 30th? We invite you just to come check it out even, see if it's something that you're interested in. Typically what we do is we send a coach out, and then 5 or 6 riders behind that coach. And so we're personally invested into that small little group of riders to make sure everybody stays safe. You go as fast as you want though too. That's key, right? You want to go out there and get that adrenaline rush. You want to go 130 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour on a straightaway, or whatever your bike does, right? So we enable that atmosphere too, safely.
I'm Jim Eglier, Max Speed Cyclist. Miles Regier right back there. And so we do the vending for PRE, and we vend exclusively with PRE. And we are at every PRE event. So I just want to stress that because we get that question a lot. Are y'all going to be at the track here? Are you going to be at the track there? Are you going to bring tires? So to just tell everyone, we always are at a PRE event, every last one of them, and we always bring tires. All right, man. We'll have some donuts, hang out, and we'll do a drawing here in just a few minutes.
Thank you guys for being here.
Absolutely.